saying. Nice.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So the Super Bowl is this Sunday.
Yep,
Some of you might have forgotten.
Easy to forget.
Sean's been telling me through all of our show prep that this is such an easy to forget Super Bowl. He is begrudgingly going to talk about it with you people. Any enthusiasm you see from him is just a masterclass in, guerrilla acting. Not
like
acting like the animal, but like guerrilla marketing, like on the streets.
Okay, yeah.
For acting.
Yeah, okay. Gotcha.
It's probably not a phrase.
I don't think it is. No.
Dan, look that up. Producer Dan. I'm sure he'll get back to us in 2 hours.
Yeah, he'll let us know.
But
what are you doing for the game, though?
I was going to say the Super Bowl is unlike any other game in the NFL season. And some people make the mistake of treating it like every other game. When you're watching your team and even the AFC Championship, the playoffs, that's probably the first time a party is okay. But if you're a diehard fan, you probably don't want to watch with a bunch of people. You don't want to be distracted. You want to pay attention to the game. Maybe you have like a bar or somewhere you go where everyone usually watches the games. Like that's the same thing. That's fine.
Right.
But as far as the Super Bowl goes, it's a spectacle. Everything takes longer. The plays aren't quick. You don't like the commercial breaks are longer. The halftime show's way longer. They've got actual time to scheme up things for the second half.
Right.
Peyton Manning famously said the biggest misnomer in sports was the fact that they had time to do anything but take a piss and drink a Gatorade at halftime.
Yeah.
He's like, I always hear people talk about halftime adjustments. Unless it's the Super Bowl, you really don't have time to change anything.
No, it's really not that long. I mean, despite having been to games, you have enough time to get out of your seat, maybe grab a drink, maybe hit the restroom, and then you might be missing plays.
And we don't want them to extend it.
No.
We all agreed to hustle through it.
Right.
Fans, athletes, keep it going. But I digress. What I'm saying is on Super Bowl Sunday, there is time. There's things to talk about. There's commercials. There's what was that? You want to see people react. Mm-hmm. I'm a big fan of going to a party for the Super Bowl.
Right.
And not just like close friends, but I'm a big fan of going somewhere where you're around enough people to get like a diverse set of opinions. Like, remember that Ozzy Osbourne, Justin Bieber commercial about like 5G, which was like a billion years ago? Because R.I.P. Ozzy.
Right.
But yeah, you remember that, right? Do you remember how people reacted in the room?
Mm-hmm. Well, weird. Not specifically, but it was, yeah. Obviously, it's better with a larger group. Like you're going to get, like you said, the broader, wider range of reactions and things like that to everything.
So are you going somewhere public?
Yeah, I think I'm going to go to a bar that's close by. But to your earlier point of like, maybe if you're a fan of one of these teams, not wanting to be in that environment, I bumped into a friend of mine that's a Patriots fan and asked him if he was going to be there. He was like, "Nah, I don't think so." So that's a very real thing.
I will tell you. Okay, so Sean's a Dolphins fan, so he hasn't gotten close to experiencing this. I'm sorry to say.
It's real.
Fortunately and unfortunately for me, the Broncos made 2 Super Bowls right in our prime. We're in our mid-20s. We're fully into it. Still fantasy football, everything. Obviously, we're doing a football show. Stayed interested.
Yeah.
Made the mistake because Peyton Manning had the 2013 offense that is still the highest scoring, I believe, in NFL history. And they added another week since then. Trey Wingo famously tweets about this every year at the end of the season. He said, this is the annual tweet that nobody's beat Peyton Manning's 2013 offense. But that's the team you're seeing going against the Seahawks. Who's Russell Wilson? Who's the Legion of Boom. Some good storytelling. Fine. I didn't pay attention to the fact that like almost 70% of the tickets were sold in like Washington State. Like Seahawks fans mobilized way quicker, made it a home game. So many elements, but I digress. Peyton Manning misses that snap, and I'm watching the game at a bar. And there's so many, like, all the people that don't have a horse in this race are just like, we've never seen Seattle win one. We'd like to see that happen.
Yeah.
Nobody cares about these teams during the regular season, but all of a sudden, if some, like, team that has never won a Super Bowl gets in there, everyone's like, well, I'm rooting for them.
Yeah.
Why? All right, whatever. Watch Rocky
No, I get
again
you.
if you love an underdog story that much.
Yeah. I mean, this is kind of an underdog story. I think both of these teams had like 60-1 odds, or maybe even greater, to make the Super Bowl when the season began. So
Spoiler
kind
alert.
of crazy.
We're gonna talk.
Like, I know-
we are going to talk about that.
Nice. No, I know they're the 1 and the 2 seed, but like still to be here for each of them is kind of crazy.
Well, and it's just like not the team we wanted on either side. A lot of people were clearly wanting, if it was going to be the Patriots, they wanted the Rams.
Yeah.
As we get into, we'll do MVP, we'll talk about awards and stuff coming up, and we'll get into this, but like that would have been the perfect setup because this is the closest the MVP race has been since Steve McNair and Peyton Manning had to like split it in 2003.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
it really is.
But the Broncos were one of the teams.
Yeah.
My screen just went blank. That's why I stopped talking.
Ooh,
Oh, it's back.
technical
Okay, that
difficulties.
was weird. It was an HDMI
Nice.
thing.
Ah.
Gotta love the
Cool.
technical stuff. But
Oh yeah.
what were we even talking about? That freaked me out.
I mean, you're going to a party. I'm going to a bar most likely for the game. It's going to be a good time. And we got some stuff to talk about, right?
Oh, these are not the teams that people wanted. Like people wanted
Oh,
other
yeah.
teams. People expected the Eagles. People probably expected the Chiefs or the Ravens. Once you actually got into the playoffs, and if you weren't paying attention during the season, and then you see these teams, you're like, what a weird year. Jacksonville,
Mhm.
Denver is back after 10 years. You know, like the
Yep.
Patriots are good again. How'd that happen
Mhm.
already? Like just an odd year. The Texans, the Chargers.
Yep.
But we're going to talk about the Super Bowl. We're going to talk about big Super Bowl bets, our Super Bowl bets. We're going to talk about storylines. We're going to F around with some F1. We're only a couple days left from seeing Cadillac. I hope it's
Welcome to Wit and Grit, where Ian and Sean break down sports betting, pop culture, or whatever's on their minds. The Wit and Grit Podcast.
Shout out to Freddie Mac.
Hey, you stepped all over this intro, though.
No, I didn't. You're allowed to walk up until he talks. That's what we do in the biz with the radio.
Fair enough.
It's called you know how many seconds you have to talk before the words in the song are going to happen so that you can leave as little dry space as possible.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, let's do a little Formula One real quick. I'm going to
Okay.
pull it up right now. We're going
All
to
right.
see if we can react to the hype, see what the latest hype is.
Okay. The
What
hype
colors
being-
do you think Cadillac is really going to just be white and black? I'm sure that when they have this unveiling, it's going to be a
I don't
big
know.
deal.
I'm trying to think of like what color is kind of underrepresented on the track right now that wouldn't be like kind of crazy. You know, like I doubt they're going to go like neon green or something like that.
That was Kick Sauber last year.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe a cool blue.
I've heard that before, and my guess is that they wouldn't do that
Okay.
because
Why?
what color do you think of for Ford?
Blue. Sure.
That's the only one. It's
a
a
good
little
point.
blue oval.
It's a valid point.
So it's like really, and so now that Ford is helping Red Bull, who is like
Mhm.
got some blue in there already,
Yeah.
I think you go for gold.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that'd be kind of cool.
Keep
be
the
kinda
black, gold, or gold and white would be pretty clean.
Yeah, either combo of that. Yeah. Good call.
RIP White Ranger.
Exactly.
That's exactly what it would
Rock
look
all
like.
three.
Though.
Yeah.
How do I share something? How do I present something? Okay. All right. Share screen. Technology is awesome.
Yeah.
Throw it up
There we
there.
are. Gotcha. There it is.
Every great thing begins the same way. As an idea, someone can't let go. Not because it's easy, not because it's guaranteed, but because some ideas refuse to stay quiet. Long before the car, long before the colors, long before the world was watching, there was belief. Belief strong enough to carry years no one sees. The late nights, the closed doors, the moments where walking away would have been simpler. Teams like this are not built in a single season or a single decision. They're built with hundreds of hands, one shared heartbeat, and one shared idea. Engineers, designers, builders, dreamers, all working towards something we hadn't touched yet, but could already feel. This is the moment before the lights, before the noise, before history starts keeping score. We haven't raced yet, but make no mistake, Cadillac Formula One is here. And this is only the beginning.
So, I mean, what do you think?
Yeah, no, I liked the design. I mean, the tees rather. Didn't see like the full design, but I like the tees. You were right, kind of felt a little like it was written by AI, but all the imagery and the shots they showed were really cool.
We get to see that livery during the Super Bowl. That's when you and me will probably grab our phones.
Yes, definitely.
Is it livery or livery?
Livery.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah.
Love the Brits. All right, let's get to what people want to talk about.
Okay.
Nobody can tell you when the next race is, but we can tell you when the next football game is, and it's the last one of the year.
Well, right around the corner. Gonna have to start paying more attention to basketball and hockey.
We haven't seen a Super Bowl where both teams entered the season both at 20-1 or longer since 2000 and 2001, when the Ravens beat the Giants. And it happened back-to-back years with the Rams and Titans in 1999 to 2000.
Wow. Yeah, this is certainly one of the more unlikely Super Bowls. That's kind of what we hinted at the top of the show. Since moving to the 16-game schedule in 78, there have been only 4 Super Bowls where the two teams' preseason odds combined for 100-1 or higher. And Super Bowl 16 is the only one featuring 2 teams entering the year at 50-1 or higher. So this Super Bowl is kind of in rare territory in that regard.
Yeah. It's the first since 2003 Patriots-Panthers between teams that missed the playoffs the previous season.
Yeah, I did not think about that part. That's true too. Yep. Patriots, of course, were just terrible last year, and Seattle wasn't good enough either.
So the Seahawks are getting 70% of the betting tickets on the spread via Action Network. Since this is live, I can tell you right now, those numbers are a bit lower, but they're still at 63 and 60%.
Mm-hmm.
In the 23-year history of Action Network's Bet Labs database, which tracks bet percentage in the Super Bowl, only 7 teams have closed with 60% or more of the tickets, and they went 5-2 straight up and against the spread.
Right. And in that same span, only 2 teams have closed with 65% or more of the tickets. That's the 18-19 Patriots, who beat the Rams 13-3, 66% of those tickets. And then the 13-14 Broncos, who lost to the Seahawks, had 68% of the tickets.
Boo, that stat. Boo. Yeah. Game always comes up. Strength of schedule. Strength of schedule. What a difference. I made it sound very difficult. I mean, we've been talking about this for weeks. We've been talking about it every time we faded the Patriots and they've made it this far. So they might make us look like fools again. But using Pro Football Reference full season strength of schedule, only 2 teams in Super Bowl history have won it all with as easy of a schedule as the Patriots had. That was the 99 Rams and the 1970 to 71 Colts.
Whew.
So, the rare company if they can win. Meanwhile, the Seahawks had a very strong schedule. Like, it went the other way around. They've taken on a ton of people.
Yeah, exactly. There's only been 11 teams in the 120 teams that have ever played in the Super Bowl that have had a harder strength of schedule than the Seahawks. And they're 8-3 straight up in the Super Bowl. So, kind of speaks to the grind really getting you prepared.
Yeah, I mean, they were at like a 6.1 SOS difference, strength of schedule. Second highest of any Super Bowl in history. just behind
The difference
1971
between the
big
two.
game between the Colts and the Cowboys,
Mm-hmm.
where the Colts won it all. I mean,
Yeah, so definitely it's the teams have taken different paths to reach this point, right? Very different paths. Just if you look at the way their seasons played out, and then looking back at the strength of schedule now that we have the full sample size. Seahawks, it wasn't easy for them. They played tough opponents all season. Patriots kind of had a walk to get there. You told me something earlier about the number of starting QBs they played.
yeah, they've played very few starting quarterbacks. If you look at the teams on their schedule, I mean, I wrote about this in my Substack article that we're going to get to more and more as we talk about the bets. But basically, when you break down the quarterbacks that they faced, Baker Mayfield is the strongest one they took on. Tua was a starter, but he was benched by the time they played him again. Played the Dolphins again. Lamar didn't finish the game, right?
Mm-hmm. Right. So I mean, these Patriots.
Josh Allen does exist, but everyone's
Yeah.
like, Josh Allen got MVP votes because people think he was doing a lot with very little this year. So
Yeah.
it's like when you put all that together, the Seahawks had a stronger schedule and look good doing it.
Crazy to see Sam Darnold piloting that, but here we are.
Sam Darnold went to USC. Drake Maye went to North Carolina. Both schools have their first starting quarterback in Super Bowl history this year. But the crazy part is USC has had 26 quarterbacks drafted, the most of any school.
Wow. That is pretty impressive. There's a lot of like unique, I don't know, points about, I won't say quite storylines, but just like unique pieces of information about this Super Bowl, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
Right. Yeah. Speaking of the quarterbacks, Drake Maye or Sam Darnold will officially be the 14th quarterback to win a Super Bowl.
Wait, what?
Right.
Oh, sorry. I wasn't listening. Go ahead.
Yeah, you didn't let me go. He'll be the 14th quarterback to win a Super Bowl in the same season that they received their first playoff win. So neither quarterback has won a playoff game until this year. And oftentimes quarterbacks that win their first playoff game don't go on to win the Super Bowl. So one of them is going to kind of join that club as well.
It's an elite club. We got Matt Stafford in 21, Nick Foles in 17, Aaron Rodgers in 10, Eli Manning 07, Tom Brady in 01, Kurt Warner 99.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So pretty interesting stuff there too. Like I said, not necessarily, I mean, that's kind of a storyline. One of the either young or previously unproven quarterbacks getting their first Super Bowl wins pretty cool.
Since this is our first show since the Broncos lost the game, I do want to point something out.
Mm-hmm.
They covered. So they covered the spread. If you bet the Broncos on the plus 5.5, or if you even took the 4.5, they covered. They didn't win the game. And we never said to give out the money line, right?
Right.
I bring that up because of this. Patriots failed to cover the spread in the AFC Championship game versus the Broncos, winning by 3 and closing as a 3.5-point favorite. Most of us got 5.5 or 4.5. While the Seahawks covered the spread against the Rams. Since the NFL merger in 1970, teams to fail to cover the spread in the conference championship game are 4-10 straight up, 2-11-1 against the spread in the Super Bowl. So just there's a lot of these historical stats that say Seahawks, Seahawks, Seahawks. But if you notice, there's 4, there's 2. There are a few teams in all of these. There's no like 0-16 never happened. Like the Jared Stidham stat we ignored because we thought we bought into the Stidham hype for sure. Stiddy City, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
But that whole list of like only Frank Reich had stepped in, but like no quarterback who had no playing time had ever stepped in the playoffs and like won.
Yeah, I mean, it's not an easy thing to do, right? Like it's
right,
not easy
but I'm
to
just
step in
saying,
any
like
situation.
we looked past that never stat and we were like,
Right.
nah, it's just gotta happen.
Yeah, that's fair.
Let's make sure we don't do that this time.
Yeah. I guess speaking of some storylines, you know, more a bit that has a little more meat on the bone, so to speak, than just some interesting kind of data points. You do have the Sam Darnold redemption arc, right? You know, Jets, Panthers, Vikings. It's that Sam Darnold we're talking about, but you know, he's kind of revived his career here in Seattle. He was an MVP favorite at one point, leading the Seahawks to the Super Bowl now. So kind of a cool redemption story for him.
Then we have the Patriots led by Mike Vrabel First Super Bowl appearance since the Brady era, chasing that record-setting 7th title. They're calling it a dynasty reborn. But it's wild. If you blink and suddenly the Patriots are back in elite form without the GOAT at quarterback, it's kind of wild. And, I mean, spoiler alert, we're going to talk more about Mike Vrabel outside of the game because he got a little trophy yesterday.
Yeah, those poor Patriots fans, and they were down for a whole 5 years. I don't know how they dealt with it. Yeah. We do have a Super Bowl rematch, which is kind of cool. Seattle and New England are facing off just like in 2015. So the Seahawks are looking to avenge that infamous loss. That was the one with the Malcolm Butler interception, I believe, when they should have just run it with Marshawn.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So going to look for some revenge now.
On the field, keep your eyes on Jackson Smith-Njigba. And please look up where they couldn't say his name last night, giving him the award.
Oh, my gosh.
Hey, yeah. Let's just say he used some words I won't say. Versus Christian Gonzalez, both 2023 first-round picks. Mm-hmm. It's a premier wide receiver cornerback battle that could decide the game. Pure chess match here.
Yeah, no, that's going to be an interesting one to watch for sure. And it kind of bodes well, I think, for Cooper Kupp. So something to keep an eye on.
Spoiler alert.
We do have both starting quarterbacks dealing with injuries to a degree. Darnold was managing an oblique. Maye's shoulder, as everyone knows, wasn't 100% at the end of last week. So maybe a bit of a low-scoring game potentially. If they're both kind of already nursing an injury to begin with, might be a little more cautious.
Hot off the press, they both say they're fine. Don't worry about it. Don't look at it. They don't. His obliques never felt so good. Shoulder? No.
They said we don't need to worry about it at all.
That's literally that's how they're trying to handle it. They're just like, don't talk about it. Don't think about it. I don't know. Sam Darnold looked better in the NFC Championship game than he did in the rest of the playoffs, and I think that's going to be beneficial for his injury that's older. And as I wrote in the Substack article for everybody that went there, because I published it last Sunday. We didn't get to do a show last week due to several family complications that we won't get into. But I wrote specifically, is this smoke or not? Either way, if Drake Maye plays, I still feel good about my bets. But if he's hiding a shoulder injury, the whole urgency of the article was go get these numbers before they're gone. Because if it gets out, Yeah.
This quick little aside about getting numbers before they're gone. Ian and I had talked about placing a basketball bet that has just fallen off a cliff in the 2 days since we talked about doing it. So if you're feeling something like that, you got a good feeling with responsible betting, go do that.
I was trying to. It wouldn't load where I was. And then I had to wait till later and I just forgot. I don't know what your excuse is. I opened and closed a very popular app several times trying to make it understand where I was.
I remember I was on my way to the grocery store and I was at the grocery store and then forgot about it.
Look who cares to feed his family more than gamble. Worst degenerate ever. Why don't you go read him a bedtime story, Sean? All right.
My dogs.
Yeah. 2 huskies. They got attention spans. They're listening. Bad Bunny's headlining, first male Latin American artist to do it. Big energy, big vibes. Some people used to be worried about Spanish, but as we've covered on this show, it's no shock. There's a reason they announced the Super Bowl performer in October, September. It's so early because they want you to have plenty of time to complain because you're not going to like anybody because the NFL is the most watched thing in this country. Anytime it's on television in the Nielsen ratings, it's just too large of it's too large of a demographic to please. So Roger Goodell just really gets his kicks by booking artists that might make you guys mad. And then I'm sure he sits quietly in his office and reads and just feeds off your hate.
Right.
It sustains him so that when the NFL owners kick him around, he's like, but I have Bad Bunny.
Certainly creates engagement every year, but this show's going to be good.
I think people are over the whole Spanish thing. I think people are just going to enjoy it. I don't know about you, but anytime I am somewhere with really great Latin music, I've never understood it. I've never known what they were saying. And that's not going to be important now. I'm just going to listen to the beat, have a good time.
Exactly. It's going to be great. I'm really excited for it.
I hope it's not the worst show ever. That's going to be, I'm going to cut that if it is. You're like, it's going to be great. It's like the stage
It's
fell
fine.
down.
That's
There's
fine.
a tragedy.
Oh gosh.
Janet Jackson comes out for no reason, loses her whole top. Not even just half, all of it. Or worse, Adam Levine shows back up and takes his shirt off again.
Oh God.
For the Rick and Morty meme.
Yeah. Well, back to football. If you're done talking about topless Adam Levine.
Who is?
So we've got another kind of matchup between, the top defense versus the top offense. Seattle's the number 1 defense. And if I'm not mistaken, New England was way up. I thought they were number 1, but perhaps they're, top 2, top 3. Either way, very, very good. So that'll be interesting to see.
When I first ran my calculations before kind of putting my bets in and everything, it was seeing everything very clearly as a close match. And it was saying to take the Patriots plus 4.5. But then when I factored in the idea that Drake Maye may be injured, it changed the math quite a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Specifically because if Maye goes down, whether it's early in the game, late in the game, or whatever, the Patriots are now a completely different team. And they're as unprepared for that as the Broncos were, I'm guessing.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. I would imagine so.
So finally, a fun historical tie. Sam Darnold is the first quarterback from the 2018 draft class to start a Super Bowl. Then Drake Maye is from the other more recent quarterback class, 2024. So it took 2018 a while to get here with all these quarterbacks that everybody loves. They've all collected MVPs, but Lamar, Josh Allen, like none of them made it up there, right?
Right.
Sam Darnold, here he is. And then Drake Maye and Jaden Daniels has already played in an NFC championship game. And Bo Nix has played in a divisional game and won. He beat the Bills, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
It just feels like the 2024 class is flying while the 2018 class is still trying.
Nice.
You like that?
Yeah.
You should give me an award, but they didn't last night at the NFL Honors. Winners and totals, here they come. We're going to get through this quick because who cares? You guys probably would have watched them if you cared about this, but we're going to go through it just to see if it's worth talking about. Mike Vrabel got Coach of the Year for having an easy schedule and making Drake Maye work. He made Drake Maye happen.
Yep. Like you said, the easy schedule, the quarterback that people never saw coming. So I guess he earned it.
Second time he's getting Coach of the Year. He did it with the Titans as well. I mean, the Patriots are 14-3 at the Super Bowl, but remember, they don't factor in the playoffs when they do these awards.
No, right.
That's what they always say. So it's weird that Sean Payton didn't win Coach of the Year.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess,
I think it has. Do you think it has something to do with the fact that they had a couple of really terrible seasons and then just had this sudden turnaround?
I think it's because they were like, they were bad enough to draft Drake Maye.
Yeah, right.
Gerard Mayo got canned.
No.
And it's like nobody can really, what are you going to say about it? They made the Super Bowl. It's hard to argue with results.
Yep.
So Myles Garrett is Defensive Player of the Year.
Yep. Depoy. Kind of saw that one coming, right?
Unanimous, right?
Yeah. I think that makes sense.
He got 50 out of 50 first place votes. Will Anderson Jr. right behind him at 177. Micah Parsons at 63. That's an interesting vote given how he was hurt half the year.
Mm-hmm.
Nick Bonito, 52 votes. Should have been more. Should have been so much more. Casa Bonito, Nick Bonito, we love him. We love him here on the show. Aiden Hutchinson, 42. Aiden's a beast, too. It was just a bad year for them. He could easily be at the top of this voting next year.
Yeah, I think that's the number of points they got. I don't think it's the number of votes because Garrett got 50 of the first place votes. So Will Anderson wouldn't have gotten.
Well, you give like second and third place votes, too.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Oh, yeah, sorry. Those are points. But still, Garrett got 500 points for the 50 first place votes. So of the points that were left, 177, 63, 52, 42.
Yep. Cool.
But I digress. Assistant Coach of the Year, Josh McDaniels. This is something for us to talk about.
Yep.
I crunched the numbers. This is his 10th Super Bowl.
Jeez.
That would mean that
unfamiliar territory for him.
Right. But there's been 60 of them.
Yes.
He's been in like 16.6% of Super Bowls. He's been
That's
involved.
too many for one person.
for a person who just like might go to enough Super Bowls to get yet a third crack at being a head coach one day. I'm not sure at this point if he's ever going to get it, but just something. If I was him, I would just set up in New England and stay. There's something about him being the OC in New England that just seems to work for him.
Yeah.
Stop moving.
You're good at this.
Yeah, be good at this. Accept your Wade Phillips fate, you know?
Exactly.
Just start taking good jobs and live your life. Vic Fangio it up, dude.
Yeah.
So right behind Josh McDaniels, who had 17 first-place votes, 249 points. Vance Joseph, who had 10 first-place votes. Brian Flores, who had 8. Clint Kubiak, who had 3. And aforementioned Godfather Vic Fangio. 4 first-place votes. So can't disagree with any of that. And it really feels like, yet again, if the Patriots weren't in the Super Bowl, the votes would have moved a little bit. Tete Roa McMillan, Offensive Rookie of the Year. RIP to everyone who had those long shot Tyler Shuck bets. He did everything he could at the end of the year, but they didn't make the playoffs. So,
yep, that's right. Yeah, there's some other names in there worth a shout. You know, Trevion Henderson, Jackson Dart, Emeka Egbuka got some votes. So,
I know. I remember a lot of people were betting Shuck.
Gotcha.
Offensive Rookie of the Year. It was like a popular bet because when you got it before their schedule got easy, it was a really good number. So it was kind of like a lottery ticket they were hoping would cash, but McMillan came in and ruined it.
Yep.
I mean, we couldn't give it to Dart because they got the coach fired.
Yeah, I mean they only won a handful of games. Like he was impressive. I think the Giants are going to be good with him and Harbaugh, but I agree he didn't earn the award.
Yeah, you can't get your coach fired and win an award for the year.
Yeah.
Although Myles Garrett is the defensive player of the year, and Jim Schwartz did quit his job as the DC, and the head coach did get fired there too. So, why did Kevin Stefanski get fired?
I don't know. Why is Myles Garrett still at Brown?
He's gonna want out at some point, but
Well,
he wanted out last year, and they just gave him a ton of money.
No.
That seems to fix things.
That does work.
This is the first protector of the year they've been giving out.
Oh, I like
Joe
that.
Tooney for the Bears.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, that checks out. You know, cut Caleb Williams' sacks down from, 68 to 24. So, very significant.
Beat out Garrett Bowles, Quinn Menierez, Penei Sewell, Brewer, and Humphrey. I mean, like, those are some hosses up front. 2 of them are Broncos. Not that we're keeping track at all, but
right. That's a cool award. I like that they're giving some more love to some offensive linemen.
It's such an important position. It's the reason. It's how we make our bets. We look at the trenches first, and it's like if there's a clear advantage, like just be a professional quarterback.
Yeah, I feel like it's easy for not fair weather fans, but casual fans to look at a matchup and be like, oh my gosh, they have Cooper Kupp. But is the quarterback gonna have time to get him the ball? Like, maybe not. So probably a poor example talking about Seattle, but you know what I mean. Looking at the trenches is very important. So it's cool that these people are getting recognition.
Let's get through the rest of these. Comeback player of the year, Christian McCaffrey, of course, played all 17 after injuries limited him to 4 games in 2024 when we famously faded the 49ers last year. What a shame for that team not to go further when they got a full year out of Christian McCaffrey. That's insane.
Right. Yeah. And then another kind of year off his shelf life, like you said, that is kind of a shame.
How many more years before Kyle Shanahan gets canned? I mean, right? I mean, like
Kyle Shanahan.
Shanahan. Hopefully it happens right around the time that Sean Payton decides to retire, because then he can come to Denver and figure it all out. His dad lives here. Talk to his dad.
All right. Yeah.
Head coaches are always better on their second stint. Facts. Defensive Rookie of the Year, Carson Schwarzenegger, Browns linebacker. Okay. He was a second-round pick in 2025. I mean, 156 tackles, 67 solo. right behind him, if I'm not mistaken, Nick Amanawari tweaked his ankle a little bit this week for the Seahawks, and might be trying to ruin our lives. Because I'm already all in on the Seahawks. Jackson Smith Njigba, Offensive Player of the Year.
Earned that.
Yeah.
Gosh. That final stat line for him this season, 119 catches, 1,793 yards, which was the league in first place in the league, and 10 touchdowns.
Yeah, he had 14 first-place votes. McCaffrey had 12. Puka Nacua had 8. Bijan Robinson got 6, and Drake Maye got 5.
That's right.
And Walter Payton Man of the Year, always a curiosity because it feels like this award is meant to draw our attention to what these players are doing off the field, because we have to admit that when it's week 7 and we're trying to get everything done and live our lives, I'm never like Googling what are NFL players doing now
right.
to help their communities in all 32 cities.
Right. Yeah. Good job out of Bobby Wagner. A couple of different programs worth mentioning there. The Finney May Fund for stroke awareness, education, patient care, that sort of thing. And then the Tackle Everything Tech Tour. That's getting students some tech and entrepreneurship exposure.
Yeah. Good guy, Bobby Wagner. Great award to get near the end of his career. He gets to wear that patch for as long as he's still doing it. Pretty sure Russell Wilson still wears his all the time.
It's a cool patch to be able to wear for sure.
MVP storyline, Matt Stafford, edge, Drake Maye. So this is the one time the Super Bowl did not help the Patriots enough, I guess.
That's right.
I mean, he wins. This is the first MVP for Matt Stafford. And then he announced he's coming back next year for the Rams. Put all the speculation to rest. I'm more.
That's right. Yes. I mean, do you think it's going to go as well?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
He'll fall off a cliff one day, but I'm not betting against Matt Stafford anytime soon. He plays in LA.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough. He did just win an MVP, so
pretty good year. Pretty good year.
I'd say so. I would say so.
If only him and Christian McCaffrey could combine forces.
Yeah.
But we got to talk about how this is the closest MVP race since 2003 when Peyton Manning and Steve McNair had to share it. Stafford 24 first place votes, May 23 first place votes. I mean, it was 366 to 361.
Yeah, kudos to Drake Maye for a hell of a season. And I mean, obviously has gotten his team to the Super Bowl. So I'm glad Stafford won it. It's cool to see him finally win one. But Drake Maye was,
because he's running out of time to win one, and he definitely deserves it. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, you take a look at his stats. I believe this is regular season and playoffs combined, if I'm not mistaken. But we're looking at 4,707 yards, 46 touchdown passes, and a 46-8 touchdown INT ratio, which is just insane. During that time, he had a record stretch, NFL record, 28 straight touchdown passes without throwing an interception.
Pretty good.
Yeah. That's it.
He's also in the last year of his deal, so we'll see how that works.
That's right. Yep. The Rams have a couple of first-round picks as well, so maybe they'll look into a successor.
Ooh, hope not. Belichick didn't make the Hall of Fame. You probably heard that everywhere. Let's just talk about who's in. Let's just talk about who's in. It doesn't matter. It's a coach. I don't know. None of them get in on the first try. What's it matter? They just wanted us to care about the Hall of Fame. You did it. Drew Brees, first ballot Hall of Famer. Makes sense.
Yep.
Larry Fitzgerald, Luke Kuechly, Adam Vinatieri, and Roger Craig. And Bill Belichick and Robert Kraft did not make it.
They did not. Do you think, I know you said you didn't want to talk about it, but do you think it was because of like all the cheating stuff, the fact that UNC hasn't gone well, the fact that maybe everyone just assumed that everyone was going to vote for him, so they didn't need to use their vote. They could use their vote elsewhere, and that just kind of snowballed. What do you think happened there?
Look up if Don Shula got in on the first ballot. You know, the guy that Bill Belichick's still chasing for wins?
Right.
Go seriously, look it up. I'm pretty sure coaches just don't get in on the first ballot, if I remember what I was reading correctly.
Let's see. Yep, he was.
Okay, so
Chula was.
I think Chuck Noll didn't get in on the first one. We don't have to keep looking them up, but there's a couple of like really good coaches who just didn't get in on the first one. But you're right. It's Bill Belichick because, well, what happens is they only let in X number of people each year. So there's people who didn't get in on first ballot from other years.
Yep.
It trickles down. So I feel like coaches are the easiest ones to push aside to get a player in before they aren't eligible anymore.
And you only have, as a voter, you only have so many votes. So it's like, well, I'd really like to vote for player X. And like I said, certainly everyone's going to vote for Bill. So if I don't, it's no big deal. Like, I'm wondering if that was a little bit of what happened, or if it is like they were proven found guilty for cheating, like legitimately. So, there was that. So could it be kind of, I know, doesn't baseball kind of do that for the steroid scandals, not let people in right away?
Well, they give him an asterisk. They let Pete Rose die, and they didn't put him in, the all-time hits leader, because he gambled on his team to win.
Yeah.
It's the most ridiculous thing. But look, anyway. All right, second all-time passing yards, Drew Brees. Larry Fitzgerald, incredible. Second all-time receiving yards, behind Rice. Adam Vinatieri, NFL all-time scoring leader. So, I mean, why did Bill Belichick not get in? Look at these names. Not an easy group to be in.
Right. No, not at all.
So, Frank Gore was a finalist. Torrey Holt, Reggie Wayne, Eli Manning, Jason Witten. Like, look at all these people. That's what I'm saying. Like, there's just such a buildup.
Yeah.
And then you've got Bill Belichick, the only head coach to be kind of reprimanded for some form of cheating. So,
yeah,
not ideal. Let's go ahead and get to the betting part of this. Let's talk about these bets coming up.
Okay. You want to give a little disclaimer?
Yes. As soon as I find it.
Cool. All right. Control F.
Control what? Find the legal disclaimer?
Yeah.
Do you see it?
Yeah.
How do you see it?
Because I Control F and then typed disclaimer.
Why didn't you read it then?
Why
do I always have to read it?
It's you always read it. What do you mean?
Wit and Grit is for entertainment only, not financial advice. We're recording and going live from Virginia and North Carolina, so always follow the rules where you live. If you choose a bet, only wager what you can afford to lose. And if you or someone you know has a gambling problem, get help. 1-800-GAMBLER, ncpgambling.org. Resources are available. There are safeguards on the apps. You want to use those. Nobody wants this to go from a hobby to a liability. We always only talk in unit size. We don't try to put you on using specific dollars. Sean, what is a unit?
10% of the budget you've set aside to gamble with.
So the reason the disclaimer was not ready is because that's where we do my bets. But right now we're doing the betting storylines. But it's good to read it whenever.
Sure. And we've got the resources like right down there on the crawl too for everybody.
Yeah, if you're watching the video on YouTube or on Facebook, you should see any of the numbers. If you feel the urge, you need the help, go get it. We, honest to God, have a friend who got so obsessed with going to K-pop concerts that he quit gambling because it was costing him money he could use to go see K-pop.
Right. You don't want to sacrifice, one hobby for another here. So.
And I don't want to give away what he was losing, but it was time to quit. So whatever gets you out of it, gets you out of it. If you're in trouble, seek help. Now, speaking of people who might need help, according to Patrick Everson's Super Bowl bets, the biggest Super Bowl 60 wager so far that he put out this week for Action Network, I'm going to read some of these.
Okay.
$1.1 million on the Patriots at plus 188 at a Circa Sportsbook.
Poor guy.
Placed in late January 26th. They will win $2.068 million. You got a cha-ching sound? Where's the register?
Yeah, our producer's on it.
Get Dan. Thank you, Dan. $1 million on the Patriots at plus 190 to win $1.9 million. That was at a Fanduel, a Fanatic Sportsbook, January 28th. There it is. $1 million on the Seahawks minus 230. This is at a Hard Rock. It was bet on February 4th. And it's well, okay, you win like only 434,782 on a $1 million bet. It's a what? You're putting up $1 million and you're not even getting $500,000 back.
Yeah, but that person's actually going to get their money.
They're like, I get it. You're betting $1 million, so you're like, I don't want to risk it on 4.5 points, but you know. $725,000 on the Patriots. This one's plus 195. It was about a bet MGM February 3rd. They would win $1.4 million. How are we not all going to be thinking about these people if the Patriots somehow pull this off? I'm going to be thinking about all these people.
How is this the segment we get right into after the responsible betting bit?
That's why it wasn't planned here. It was planned for later in the bit. We did it at the wrong time because you told me to control find it.
And it worked.
You computer wizard, you and Dan both. Okay.
Dan, come on. He didn't read a number.
I'm just glad
give a guy a little credit.
$180,810 on the Seahawks at minus 220. This is at a Boomers sportsbook. Never heard of them. January 29th to win $82,000. That just seems even more insane.
Yeah.
Oh, do you have all right, do you want to read the against the spread ones?
Okay, yeah, we've got some interesting ones here. We've got $1 million Seahawks alternative spread minus 3.5. That's going to win $800,000 if it hits. We had $325,000 put on the Patriots at plus 4.5. That's going to win $309,000 if it hits.
Minus 105.
Yep. $55,000 on the Patriots at plus 4.5 at minus 108 to win about $50,000. And then you've got $36,000 on the Seahawks at minus 4.5. Paying at minus 109 to win $33,000.
Woo! I mean, and people get wild with some of these. $2 million on the AFC at plus 200. So that was bet back on January 22nd. Hit it again.
Wait, what?
They were just in the AFC. Maybe will win, and it would win. They'll win $4 million. They'll double their $2 million. Obviously, plus 200.
They're going to be paying real close attention.
Dan's dialed in today. Dialed in Dan, I'll call him. $50,000 on the Seahawks at plus 6,000. That was back on August 21st at a bet MGM, and it would win $3 million.
But that's what I love watching.
$50,000 on the Patriots at plus 3,500, placed at a DraftKings in October to win $1.75 million. Talk about a bet.
Yeah.
$100 Patriots beat Seahawks at plus 310,000. That was set back on August 25th. Would win $310,000. It's a $100 bet.
$100.
$100 you would win $310,000. If you can go back in time to August. We got really lucky with some of those exactos, but I'm really glad we didn't get around to doing them this year because we would have been so wrong. There's no way we would have gotten to the Patriots and the Seahawks.
No way. Not in a million years. I don't know if I would have landed on either of those teams. Certainly not both.
It almost makes me feel more confident about doing it next year, but
yeah, right.
Oh my God! And here's the craziest one before we get to some of the injuries and stuff for the actual game. $100,000 on tails on the coin toss at minus 103, placed at a Caesars on February 4th. They would win $97,087.38.
Goodness gracious. Bet responsibly, everybody. If you ever feel crazy about a prop that you're placing, just remember these guys. You know, you're not putting $100 on the Super Bowl matchup and during the preseason.
6 figures on tails. That's insane.
It's
madness. That's just like
fun stuff.
Got blood money. They're trying to get rid of it. They're like, please take this. What a great segment. They loved it.
That was a great segment. Yeah.
Injuries. According to Yahoo Sports, Super Bowl 60 injury report. The latest update we could get. Drake Maye had been listed earlier in the week for illness and a shoulder issue, but he was back to a full participant in practice.
Yep. On the Seahawks side, you had Sam Darnold was limited with that oblique, and JSN limited for rest, not injury.
So,
yep, we're looking at both QBs, not really being banged up anymore. If there's one that's even being managed, it's Darnold. So,
boring. All right, we got some of the most talked about odds, props, and value plays. Make it interesting here. Most books still have it at 4.5. We're seeing. Again, most of the money and the bets are on the Seahawks, which usually spooks us in the regular season, but we're not that worried about in the playoffs or specifically in the Super Bowl where there's been 2 weeks for everybody to just digest this game. We land on the public side pretty often. We back the Chiefs on this podcast. We've done a lot of stuff.
Yep. Even though the public has not been super strong this year.
So, I mean, some people might be betting on like 7 to 12 point wins, doing like your Super Bowl squares, maybe betting on overtime to happen. Some people try to bet the exact score.
What about, what's it called when you get the touchdown and the 2-point conversion? The octopus?
The octopus. We didn't talk about that much this year.
Yep.
I don't know. Who would your octopus player be? Sam Darnold? Drake Maye. When they can't get anything going, he'll just run it in. So if they need the extra point, he might just do a fake twice.
I could see a May octopus. I think it's more likely than any pass catcher.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you got to be in the situation to go for the 2 to begin with, and then have your number called again. But that's a bet that's going to pay out like crazy if you want to do a little bit of a pocket change.
George Holani. I don't even know if I'm saying his name right because with Zach Charbonnet out, he's been in. I saw an over-under on 1.5 receptions, which feels almost guaranteed given the kind of role he's stepping into, that he'll get at least 2 catches.
Okay.
But also, that's the kind of thing that maybe the Super Bowl won't give us because it's a little bit too predictable.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, last year, several bookmakers who I heard talking to reputable sources said that their biggest bet was Saquon Barkley anytime touchdown or Saquon Barkley over his yards last year, which we all remember he didn't get.
Mm-hmm.
So, you want
to know what I remember about last year's Super Bowl on the betting was that you said that Jalen Hurts was going to be MVP.
Wasn't he?
Yes. Giving you credit.
Boom. Yeah, I said I saw it in a dream.
Vision.
It's right there. It was a vision. Yeah. Too much House of the Dragon for me, I think.
Yeah. You watching Knights of the Seven Kingdoms? This is the time to talk about it.
This is right. I've seen the first episode, but I'm behind due to busy life stuff. And
nice.
Until I move the room I want to watch TV in, there's no blinds up right now. You can't see during half the day. So,
it's fun. I like that it's a bit more of a laid back watching that universe.
Well, Egg is basically, spoiler alert.
Seriously, because I know what you're going to say. This is actually a huge spoiler for anyone that actually cares.
Is it?
Yes. If you don't know.
He's sort of the great-grandfather and grandfather of both Jon Snow and Daenerys.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm curious to see how that's going to happen.
It's a big deal.
And I think the tall guy is probably from Brienne of Tarth's lineage.
He's also a very big deal.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. He seems like it. He seems like a Knight of the Seven Kingdoms.
He is indeed. But anyway, Super Bowl.
So, any of these other specific props you want to talk about before we move on to what I've actually bet?
I kind of like Austin Hooper over 9.5 receiving yards. That is a check down target for May, and he's pretty reliable, honestly, for like little sideline grabs, stuff like that. So I could see, that being just one catch and a tight third down spot, maybe a couple catches from dink and dunks. So I think that one's pretty safe.
Okay. Highlight that for later.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Kenneth Walker anytime touchdown, JSN anytime touchdown. I'm not so sure this game's not an under, so I'm doing no anytime touchdown bets. They're not going to catch me on that.
I'd probably be the most confident, and I'd say a JSN and or Ramondre Stevenson if I was looking at an anytime touchdown.
I just think that JSN might be locked down by Gonzalez the whole game, which will
could be, but all it takes is one good move by JSN, get one step. Darnold's going to find him. Darnold's going to look for him anyway. And if he does have that step, I bet you that he's going to be told just let it rip. If you see JSN get a step, let it rip.
I can't remember. Does your state allow MVP voting? Betting?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Virginia doesn't, so I don't want to talk about it. I don't think about it. I don't worry about it. They're subjective, and I kind of agree with not letting us bet on it because it's it's so subjective who wins the MVP, and we can bet on that. I don't know about that.
Mm-hmm. You sure about that?
All right, here's my betting card. If you subscribe to the All In with Ian Substack, which is free, you just have to be on that app. You could have read these. You could have had these in already. You're sitting back. You're probably not watching this, actually, because you already got the bets. Don't leave us. We're going to be talking in units. Sean, 1 unit is what?
10% of your betting budget.
Weekly gambling budget, yes. So the cards so far, no surprise what side we're on. Seahawks -4.5. I had to suck it up at -115 because I kind of thought about it for too many days, but oh well. 3 units because it's a Super Bowl. 3 units on the Seahawks to win by at least 5.
Feels easy. It really does. I hope I'm not eating crow. It feels so easy.
I'm going to be looking at some alts. I haven't decided where to start at yet. So if you follow me on Pickett at All In with Ian, you can see if I make any more bets. I might get froggy and put out another Substack article or at least a new note if I make new bets. So follow the Substack. It's free. HammeredSharkProductions.com. It's right there on the homepage. But Ramondre Stevenson under 14.5 rushing attempts, -105. I bet a half unit on this.
Okay.
It's the same narrative. I'm betting into the same narrative. If we're right about the Seahawks winning by at least 5, the Patriots aren't going to have as many opportunities to try to run the ball and chew the clock. If the Patriots somehow can come out and hit hard, hit fast, maybe I'm eating my words on this one. But also, I like this under on rushing attempts because it allows you room for Stevenson to be good.
Yeah, he could pop a 70-yard run and you're not cooked.
Or if he's popping every run, if he just slaughters the Seahawks, this could still hit because he won't need 15 attempts.
That's true. Yep.
So that's why I like going with the attempts over the yards in case he gets one big run, something breaks down. And we've been talking about how we think JSN might have a little bit of trouble. My third bet, Cooper Kupp over 32.5 receiving yards at -110. One of the only Seahawks with Super Bowl experience, half a unit. And wasn't he the Super Bowl MVP of that game?
I don't recall, but I can look that up if you want to keep talking about your bets.
Yeah, look that up real quick. Basically, in some of these, we're going to tie together in a couple of parlays. I didn't go too crazy, but we've got one more I put in because of old shoulder and how we think. Again, let's keep the narrative going. Under on Drake Maye.
He was the MVP.
Bingo. So Cooper Kupp has already been a Super Bowl MVP before. This is a spot he can show up in. He gets the second corner at least because they're not going to let JSN loose. He just led the league in receiving yards. So we really like Cooper Kupp to get at least 33 yards in a low-scoring game. This could be one catch. I mean, but it's low number for a chain mover.
Yep, that's right. I like it.
Drake Maye,
like you said,
under. Okay, sorry, I thought you were
just gonna say like you said with the JSN narrative or angle rather. I think Kupp's probably going to be a little, maybe even the first read for Darnold more often than JSN. Of course, JSN's wide receiver 1. But the game plan wouldn't shock me if Darnold is told, hey, look Kupp first, sort of thing. We'll see.
Or just make sure you get around to him.
Yeah, at least.
Drake Maye under 220.5 passing yards, -105, half a unit. I mean, and I put this in back on Sunday when we didn't know anything about the shoulder before I was afraid they might move the number, but Yahoo's latest had May as a full participant in practice, so the shoulder may not be a big deal, but the over-under is set at, hold on. Well, I'm so ready for this. 45.5 still. Not very high.
For the score of the game?
Yeah, 45 and a half over under. So, I mean,
Yep.
if it was at 43, we'd be expecting a defensive slugfest. So at 45 and a half, they're leaving a little bit of room, but you know, everybody and their mother who doesn't usually bet is watching the Super Bowl and might want a little action on it. So for them to hang a 45 and a half for a possible over, they're pretty confident it's probably going to go under, because no matter how many games go under, the public doesn't like betting it. They don't want to root for boring.
It typically doesn't happen in the Super Bowl either. I mean, yeah, we have the one that sticks out like a sore thumb, the 13-3 with New England and LA. But looking back at the past, gosh, man, like 20 years is what I've just got in front of me right now. Like, there's not a very low scoring game. We have Pittsburgh, Seattle, 21-10 back in 06.
What was the score of the last Santa Clara Super Bowl? Since it's in,
give me 1 second.
I know I think they had
Denver 24, Carolina 10. Yeah, Denver 24, Carolina 10. So 34. You know, a little low scoring there.
Yep.
But most of these scores, you know, you're looking at points into the 50s and 60s more often than not.
So finish up the bets so far. 2-leg parlay. We did Cup over 32.5, Stevenson under 14.5, because those are so directly tied. The reason that's the 2-leg parlay is because Drake Maye could go over 220.5 in garbage time. And so I didn't want all of my bets tied up to that one specific angle in case Drake Maye is like, just like, say the Seahawks just beat them by halftime, and then Drake Maye just gets to just churn them up on prevent.
Yeah. I like it.
But in case it doesn't happen, I also put the 3-leg in with all 3 of them in there. So
nice.
Full summary. I just didn't want to get too varied. And I've done a couple of other bets that aren't mine. I'm tailing other people. I'll give them out here. They're not on the article. Patriots under 2.5 sacks for the game. I got that at -140.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about betting, and I got to find the number. But I think that I don't know. I don't know if I want to say that one on the pod. I don't want to put my name on it if I'm wrong. I haven't done it yet. But Stephon Diggs under on his longest reception, like under, I think the number was 17.5. Just kind of betting that Diggs is going to catch some balls, but it's going to be near the line of scrimmage to move the ball. Like
nothing crazy. No Hail Marys going his way, probably.
Probably aged out of him. He's a dad now.
No.
All right, so I think we have enough time left to F around with some F1.
Let's do it.
Do we have a song for that?
Got some cool stuff to talk about. No, we should get one.
F1 song. Okay, so
F1 song.
It's pretty good. Let's start with Ferrari. The vibes are, dare I say it, positive, which already feels like a plot twist. Hamilton says the team's mentality actually feels like a winning one again. No major issues in the Barcelona shakedown. The SF26 was reliable, and both drivers gave good feedback.
Yeah, you know, Ferrari being calm in February, like you said, kind of already a plot twist. Usually they're throwing helmets or leaking into the Italian press by now.
And over to Mercedes, the W17 ran more laps than any other car in Barcelona, over 500, and reliability was rock solid. George Russell and Kimi Antonelli both look sharp. Toto Wolff's still preaching caution, but says the early signs are positive. At least it doesn't look like a turd, he said.
Yeah, I mean, coming from him, that's high praise. You know he's feeling good if he's making bathroom jokes.
Russell's the current betting favorite for the 2026 title. Even Lando Norris was joking that George seemed a bit giddy. Mercedes might be back.
Interesting. I hadn't heard that. That's cool.
Speaking of Mercedes, Kimi Antonelli's heading into year 2 and says he feels more prepared.
Right. 19 years old. Already trying to sound like a 10-year vet, though.
He worked with a psychologist over the break, reset mentally, and is focusing on cardio for those hotter races. Team says he could be a breakout star, possibly F1's second youngest race winner ever, if he takes a victory this season.
All right.
Let's jump over to Red Bull. First laps for the RB22 were a success. Max Verstappen said it was a good start and praised the new in-house Red Bull powertrains unit. First time Red Bull is fully powering its own cars. Built in Milton Keynes with support from Ford. Verstappen and Hajar both ran solid sessions in Barcelona. We're going to have to get used to Hajar being on Red Bull.
Yeah, no doubt. We had Max literally shaking off a cold too, just cruising around, setting laps, still sounding satisfied. That's pretty scary this time of year.
Red Bull's team principal, Laurent Mekies, called the power unit project as crazy as it gets, but said the fact that it ran without major issues was a huge win. There's also the story that came out that Horner and Verstappen still keep in touch. Horner still encourages them, coaches them up and stuff. I mean, they had a long relationship.
Yeah.
Let's see. Red Bull's also got a new driver lineup this year, as I mentioned. Fun fact.
Yep.
Isaac Hajar found out about his promotion from his mom before the team even told him.
Can you imagine just your mom texting you hey, congrats on being an F1 driver now?
At Racing Bulls, it's Liam Lawson and 18-year-old Arvid Lindblad, who's already impressed the team with how calm and professional he's been. Racing Bulls says he reminds them of a young Hajar. Feedback has been simple, direct, and sharp. Looks like a quick learner with solid pace.
Yeah, you don't get these spots accidentally. Let's bring it home with Cadillac. Literally, bring it home. They just wrapped their first shakedown. The takeaway isn't just the car, but the culture, too.
I'm loading. The team principal said team spirit is strong. Procedures are working, and they feel like a real F1 outfit now.
Yeah, they even put every founding member's name on the livery for that first run in Barcelona. That's how you build buy-in.
They've still got a long way to go, but heading to Bahrain with optimism and a functioning car is a pretty great start for a brand new squad.
No doubt.
Now to Williams, who skipped the Barcelona test due to delays with their FW48 build. That's 3 times in 7 years they've been late.
Yeah, they're really treating testing like a suggestion.
James Bowles says it's under control. Williams did a lot of virtual track testing, and as a Mercedes customer team, they're leaning on shared data. The focus was on getting the car right, not rushed. I mean, that's what you got to say. Vowles called it intelligent failure. Said some parts of the car are championship level, others need work. What does that mean? Hopes to bounce back at Bahrain tests next week. So we'll be covering these tests more in depth, specifically once the Super Bowl's over, because that's why we always tell you guys we cover F1 and NFL, because the seasons, they overlap for the most exciting time for sports, and then they hand it off like a baton.
It's pretty nice.
One team that did make it to the shakedown and made a splash was Aston Martin. This was Adrian Newey's first car with them, the AMR 26. Something I think everyone there has been waiting on.
And, Newey didn't even get wind tunnel time until April last year. Still delivered a car with some seriously aggressive design features.
Newey says the car is tightly packaged and built for long-term development. They might not be fast out of the gate, but expected steady upgrades.
And with the Honda Works engine now behind them, it's a whole new era for Aston Martin.
And it couldn't have been much worse last year. They pretty much, by the time, once McLaren got the constructors, Aston Martin was pretty much already looking forward to this year. If it's another bad year where they're not really competitive, they don't sniff a podium, I don't know what they're going to do.
Yeah.
Speaking of teams we don't know what they're going to do, Haas publicly said they expected more from Esteban Ocon in 2025, but they're backing him for growth this year.
I saw that come out. That's kind of a public performance review, isn't it?
For F1, it's pretty kind. Usually you're out of your seat before you know you messed up.
Yeah.
F1 is doubling down on visuals and tech to help fans follow the sport. Think real-time energy development stats, more digestible car data, and dynamic live graphics.
They're telling the consumers, hey, if this is confusing to you, we got your back.
Yeah. And finally, the Winter Olympics opening today.
That's right.
Let's talk about F1's secret crossover with the Snow World.
Yeah, you would think that these drivers would stay away from the high-speed icy death traps, but apparently not.
4 F1 drivers have actually competed in the Winter Games. I mean, an alpine skier for F1 completed 3 Olympics, even came back at age 47 for speed skiing. Davina Galicia. I mean, we're going to butcher some of these names. Alfonso de Portego drove for Ferrari and raced bobsled for Spain in 1956.
Whew.
An American, Bob Said, raced F1 and bobsled in 2 Olympics.
Bobsled?
Yeah, Bob Said bobsled. Which is awesome. No wonder he did it.
Bob said bobsled.
Right.
I was talking to him. Yeah, that's what Bob said.
Do the clap. Tell Dan.
I'm telling me to do it, yeah.
And Robin Widows, British, raced 1 F1 GP in 2 Olympic Games in the 4-man bobsleigh, which was different, I bet.
I guess. Also, shout out to Simona De Silvestro, former Sauber test driver who's competing this year in bobsleigh for Italy.
And don't forget, Mercedes' own Kimi Antonelli carried the Olympic torch this year. No word on whether he was drifting it through corners or not. So let's recap. Mercedes looks confident. Red Bull's engine actually works. Ferrari's chill. Williams is late, but they say they're calm. Cadillac's vibing, and Aston Martin has a genius in the garage, hoping for long-term success.
And apparently we've got F1 drivers that moonlight as Olympians, because why not?
Speaking of that, did you see who Lewis Hamilton's allegedly spending time with?
I did not.
Kim Kardashian.
Oh, okay.
Have you heard of her?
I know
You know
her.
who
Yeah,
that is?
Yeah, I'm familiar.
I saw a tweet about this. I don't think I grabbed it. Because Lewis Hamilton has dated some very notable people.
Okay.
Can you name any more? Do you know?
I can't. No.
Yeah.
Can you?
Kim Kardashian and Lewis Hamilton sparked dating rumors with cozy Ferrari photos. Let's see. He dated, just to name a few, Rihanna in 2015, Kendall Jenner in 2015, Gigi Hadid in 2015, Rita Ora. Wasn't that the new Storm?
Maybe.
Nicki Minaj in 2018, Shakira in 2023, Sofia Vergara, 52 years old, back in 2025, and now reported with Kim Kardashian, who is 45.
All right.
If you listen to popular radio, there's been a song out for the past couple months. Baby, I'm a dog, I'm a mutt.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And that's Lewis Hamilton, minority owner of the great Denver Broncos. Never in the box, always too busy. That's right. The Broncos might be bringing in Kim Kardashian to compete as Cardi B has taken the Patriots to the Super Bowl after Taylor Swift took the Chiefs to the Super Bowl. It's become a diva-dominated league. You need your superstar singer to do well and take you there. So we're pulling out the big guns, reality TV, Walmart money.
Yep.
Got to be great or terrible.
One or the other.
One or the other. So, Sean, are you actually going to make any bets this weekend on the Super Bowl, or are you just going to pretend it's not happening?
Probably. I mean, I'm going to watch it, but I don't know how much money I'm going to be putting on it. I might do a little bit on Seattle to cover.
I think I'm going to fight the urge to do any more bets, but I just love having a couple of different angles in case something works. Like, if I have enough things going that don't rely on a winner and the Patriots win, I can still enjoy the game.
Yeah, that's true.
I already had a little kid talk smack to me because I was wearing my Broncos jacket because it's still cold, even if they didn't win. It's
It's true. Still gotta be warm.
I can't help that it's cold, everybody. I'm not bragging. But I already had a little kid talk smack to me. He's like, Drake Maye, he, him. And once I got that deciphered by like a local Gen Z interpreter, I was able to figure out what he was talking about.
No. Thought he was giving you his pronouns.
All right. I was doing a trivia one time. Since we're going long anyway, let's just throw it in. I was doing a trivia one time, and it was NFL themed. It was for this year. finishing up.
Mhm.
And this kid won. He was like 8 years old, and he just kept yelling, read my team name, read my team name. And his team name was the pronouns they, them. But it wasn't like this kid used the pronouns. He's a Dallas Cowboys fan. He thinks it's really funny that these pronouns exist because he's 8 and his brain isn't full. So he just keeps going, how did the pronouns they, them do? How did the pronouns they, them do? Like before. And then when he actually won, I was floored. Then the next round, he got close to winning, but his 10-year-old brother beat him. So I had an adult trivia at like a tap room where you can bring your kids and stuff, where not one but 2 rounds in a row were won by a child 10 years old or younger.
Good job, everybody.
And everyone was like, how did that happen? And I'm like, you guys all drink and watch the game. They're playing Madden. They know stats. They're playing fantasy football, and they care a lot about it. They want to beat their friends bad. You don't know anything about it. You started gambling. All right. Well, you want to call it a show?
I think that's we covered everything. Yeah. So
I don't know what else I'd call it.
Yeah, I think it's called a show.
For Sean, for Ian, which is me. This has been the Wit and Grit Podcast. Thank you for tuning in. If you're on YouTube, Facebook, thank you for listening. If this is on Spotify, please leave us a 5-star review. Recommend us to your friends. We want to get a bigger audience before we get into next football season as we ramp up our F1 coverage. If you have any questions about F1, NFL, anything you want, leave them in the comments. We'll make Dan answer. Dan?
Yeah. He's on it. Don't worry. Yeah, he's taking notes.
That's how he communicates with his sounds.
Everybody have a great weekend. Enjoy the Super Bowl.
Peace out.